is Scuba Goat
Under the Sea,
the podcast for the inquisitive diver.
Hey there, dive buddies, and welcome to the show. During today's episode, I have the absolute pleasure of talking to a man who is a dive pro, a dive centre owner, an explorer, a photographer, instructor, husband, and father. And if I may quote from the dictionary, a person who is admired for their courage, outstanding achievements, or noble qualities. Quite simply, a hero. Now, I know Mikko's humility will probably denounce that, but I have a few facts that say otherwise. Mikko has received an accolade from the Finnish Association of Fire Officers, an ADEX Award for Inspirational Excellence, a life-saving medal for the President of Finland, has a book called Dive Into the Light, appeared on Finland's largest non-commercial TV channel, is recognised as an actor on IMDb, and played the part of himself in the Cave movie. To top it off, he has also received, are you ready for it, Mikko, a first-class Knight Grand Cross of the Most Admirable Order of the Dhirakunakorn from the King of Thailand. Mikko Paasi, you owe me one beer for getting that last bit correct.
I think I do. Well deserved. Yeah.
Welcome to the show, mate. How you doing?
I'm great. And you put it right there. Like you could say that's exactly 0 to hero story there.
Yeah. But there we go. How's the humility going, though? Are you all settled down now, and all the stars and all the cameras in your face after the rescue? Yeah,
it was quite interesting time after it. But it's all settled down now, and back to normal adventure expedition style.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, no one's going to come and shove a camera in your face when it's minus 21 degrees at home.
That's true. I'm looking at the blizzard at the moment from my window. And it doesn't look tempting, but I feel like it looks very interesting. Gonna get out there very soon.
Okay, go on then. How soon? What have you got anything lined up coming up?
Yep. After this podcast, this was my today's. This is gonna be my today's adventure, but every day something new, I guess. But yeah, next one is tomorrow. In Finland, we have this. I mean, we don't have much to dive except heaps of lakes and stuff. But our specialty over here is the mines. And tomorrow, I'm fortunate enough to go with a very special group of hard-headed divers from Finland to visit this. I can't say the name of the mine because it's a secret. But it's a nice little mine at the few hours north from Finland and not from Helsinki. Sorry. And the logistics are ridiculous here because we literally have like minus 20 at the moment, and it's raining kind of darts, and the real feel with the 10 meters per second wind, it must be like near minus 30. And the dive plan includes first, after the driving, is a lot of shoveling snow on top of the lake, the frozen mine, and then we need to make three holes in the ice with the chainsaw, and one for the divers, one for each two divers, and then one hole for the tanks, and then jump in, and the runtime will be roughly about 3 hours, and it's gonna be cold and dark, but
gonna be cold. No,
kind of bit. Hope no leaks,
dude. I
can't really cut off those dives.
I left the apartment to come down here, and I was holding up shorts. Well, do I wear my jeans shorts or do I go down to boardies? Because it's going to be quite warm outside. I might get a little bit hot. So,
thank you for that. Yeah. I have a sauna behind it.
Yeah,
if I need that.
So anyway, let's back it up a little bit, buddy. Surprisingly, there's still people out there that don't know you. So where did diving start for you? How did you get into it?
For me, diving. I think it was 94, and I first did just recreational certification in Turkey with my current girlfriend back then, and that kind of started the bug. But I did a few years of just recreational diving, but when it really hit me, the sport was in Ojamo mines in Finland. A couple of years later, at the end of 90s, and when I enrolled to this 1 year long instructor course. They did that in Finland. Like I know in these days the instructor course is a few weeks.
Yeah.
But back in the days it was 300 something days.
Wow.
and we did actually over 300 dives in that mine, Ojamo mine, just for the instructor course.
Yeah.
I went from advanced to instructor with that year, and there I got to dive one of the best places in Finland, and it was. I also fell in love with overhead environment, because there was the mine that we used, the open area mainly, but then you could see all those tunnels that they go down to 200 meters and tens of kilometers in. So
yeah,
I was peeking every now and then. I went a little bit further, and there was no mine diving, or the technical diving scene in Finland was non-existing back in the days. But that's where I got the first glimpse, and ever since it's been just uphill. More overhead and more wrecks and more expeditions and stuff.
Yeah. You're crazy. You're absolutely crazy. I know this.
You get bored in this country quite fast.
Yeah, I've tried. I went over to the cenotes last year and tried there.
That's brilliant.
And yeah, it was good. But I wouldn't penetrate too far. I'd just get bored. I found myself looking to see if anyone had dropped dive equipment or cameras on the floor. But as soon as we got near an entrance or an exit and there was a bit of light, then the camera was out and I was super excited. But it was just not enough fish for me. I'm a fish person, and you crazies are all about the caves and the caverns.
You need to take your own fish with you to those cenotes. But they are awesome. If that doesn't trigger your inner Indiana Jones to go further in, then nothing does, because those are the most beautiful caves in the world. Yeah, almost.
Yeah, very nice. But anyway, let's come back across this side of the world. So you started in the cave, in the mines back home, and then how did you find yourself in Thailand? Because I mean, you've had Koh Tao divers a long time now, haven't you?
Yeah. That was actually I just met my instructor certifier a couple of years back in Malta by accident, and she reminded me that she remembered me from 25 years ago, that I left the next day when she certified me. I already had tickets booked and everything, and I was like, "Thank you for the certification. Now bye Finland." I got a job in Phuket. The fisherman that I knew from Finland had a dive school over there, and he gave me my first job as an instructor. But then again, Phuket wasn't really what I was looking for from a tropical island or to set up my career somewhere. And it took me a year to leave Phuket. And I was actually on my way to Australia. I decided, okay, I leave Thailand, I go to Australia and try my wings over there.
Yeah.
On the way, I stopped at Koh Tao for a weekend, and I stayed over 20 years. And that's how I stopped at Koh Tao and started randomly doing the freelancer jobs like most of us start with, and ended up doing a course at Koh Tao Divers, and I just loved the shop so much that I didn't want to leave. I mean, I decided that I tried to work with this one shop, and eventually I got the manager place. And in a nutshell, I did so bad job that the owner decided to quit the whole shop for other reasons, but still. And one thing led to another. Within a few years, it was 2000 something, early 2000. I just when the owner was like, he's gonna give up the first dive school on Koh Tao Divers, and sell it or just leave it. And I went to her like if I can buy it, like don't just stop, let me run it, sell it to me. And she at the time she asked like how much money I have, and I had 500 baht, and I bought it off with 12 euros. And ever since that, it was a Saling, you know, Matt, how the Salings are, and silly little equipment leaking all over, and a few tanks, and but the name and the history of the shop. But yeah, literally 500 baht. And ever since I've been growing it slowly every year, and now we are doing well, or we would be doing well without this bloody flu around.
Yeah. But so that was the first dive center on Koh Tao?
Yes, it was on the island of Koh Tao. It's the first one, established 1987.
Wow. Came
from Samui Stids. Well, used to be Samui International Dive School, and then a piece of it fell in Koh Tao, and I'm glad that we still have it.
Yeah.
Is it it's like 30 plus years, 33. We're going to be 35 soon.
That's awesome.
That's a grown-up age.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's like almost doing adulting.
Yep, almost like us.
And then obviously you've got built up Kotao and you've got KTD in Malta.
Yeah, KTD Malta is a chapter that we opened a few years back, 5-6 years back. It's the heart of Kota Divers is in Thailand in Kotao, but we decided to expand because we do lots of technical diving in Kota Divers already, and we have quite many specialty courses. And I just love wreck diving. So maybe because of my passion, we went to Malta, and I decided, okay, I need to work over here. So why not set up a little chapter here too?
Yeah.
And it's been running over there, and Malta is a wreck diving heaven. Visibility is always 30 plus, or I'm a little bit exaggerating here, but the amount of historical wrecks that it has to offer is mind blowing. Even if you don't know, if you just take a scooter out of the beach and go out in the sea, you will end up finding pieces of World War II history and beyond. I mean, the history is amazing in Malta.
Well, how many bits of World War II wreck have you found now? Because there's been quite a lot of exploration that you've been doing, isn't there?
I don't know. I mean, I don't keep count, to be honest. And you don't find anything by yourself. It's always a teamwork. And but I try to be as much involved as I can, and I don't do normal dives anymore. I mean, the kind of type of diving I love is not. It can be anything, but mainly I need a project to do, and that drives me. So I jump in anything. I can look for your engine if you like, and you don't have to pay for me. I love it. But I don't have a number how many shipwrecks, but tens. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's not too much. It depends where you are. Some places you're allowed to do this, and some places you're not. So you need to play by the book or bye-bye.
Or you get your wrist slapped. Yeah. Okay, so we got Kotao, we've got Malta, and then 2018 came, and the incident with the kids getting trapped inside the caves in northern Thailand. How did you first hear about it?
I think social media. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole thingy hit the media quite well, how to say, quite powerfully. But I think I was in Malta at that time, and it popped up in the social media that there's a football team trapped in a cave full of water in Thailand, and that caught my ear immediately. Like Thailand, caves, water, and rescue. Oh yeah, I mean, I needed to follow it because it's my kind of like 20 years in the country, so it is my background, my backyard over there. So I started to follow, and it's kind of far away from Malta, in North Thailand. But and then I understood, like at the beginning, some of my good friends went over as the first persons to help as cave divers, and these guys, they set up this Ben Raymond was the leader of the group, and his wife Simone set up this conversation in social media. I mean, a private conversation where they updated us like what happens every day, like every step, and that so I could follow a little bit inwards in the scenes, like what's going on. And it took me like a few days, and I mean there was a letter coming through where they asked more personnel and more equipment, and they didn't have any cave equipment over there. So I called Kota Divers, and I closed the technical side of our shop over there, and Ivan helped me to send all our cave diving side mount equipment up to north, and we collect from the island of Kotao. We collect a lot of, individuals who gave their own equipment, side mount equipment, regulators to send up to north. Brilliant. And that was amazing. I mean, I don't know if they ever got them back, to be honest, but they just decided that they're better up there helping the kids. Then I was walking a few days later. I was on the phone all the time trying to connect things and get personnel on site and get the equipment on. And my wife, it was our 8th anniversary when my wife was looking at me. Krista was looking at me like, damn, she knows me. And I'm all the time on the phone and take messaging, and she was like, well, you better go there now. And instead of that candlelight dinner for the 8th anniversary, wedding anniversary, we had a dinner. We had a quick lunch on the airport. People were going to plane and go and get them. But that's how it escalated. It started to escalate just randomly. And I was on a plane then. On the plane, we landed at Zurich on the way. I find another guy with the side mount rebreather to help me out, because that was the thing that I actually flew over, because I had this side mount rebreather that can, with the rebreather you can stay longer with. You don't have to have extra tanks to go in and out, and that ended up helping us setting up the stage tanks to the cave. And I was bringing that equipment over. But in Zurich, I stopped before the Bangkok flight, and I learned from social media again that all the kids were found happy and alive. And my first thoughts were like, okay, this is it. I'm going to just land on Bangkok and problem solved. I was happy as hell. And U-turn and go back to my wife. But then on the flight, I started to think like, hell, man, like, hey, there's still like 2.5 kilometers in there. There's quite many of them, and they need to be brought out. And that's not that simple. So I went up to Chiang Rai, and then the rest is history. I mean, the kids were found, but they needed to be brought out, and then we just sat there for a while. And but at the beginning, I was just thinking, I'm gonna bring my unit there. I'm gonna help them carry tanks or whatever the special forces or Thai Navy or Thai Army or the Australian Federal Police or whatnot was there that they need. Maybe I can give them a hand a little bit. But in the end, it escalated so that I was working in the chamber 8 to 2.5 kilometers in, and that was just every day a little bit more and more, and it was kind of absurd to find yourself.
Was there like a moment where you that dawn of realization where you think you're going to be doing the donkey work and lifting tanks to being asked or invited, whichever way you want to put it, to be inside and actually being hands-on?
Every day was different. But I mean, first 2 days we just sat there in the mud and in the rain, and everybody was telling us, we don't need you. But we were like, we come this far, we're going to fucking sit here and not go anywhere. We're going to sit here for a month if it's needed. And then the U.S. Special Force Commander, I can't remember his name at the moment, but he came over one evening and asked, like, who are you guys? And we're like, we're divers. What can you do? Can you go in there and help? Okay, hell yeah. That was and so without no hesitation, but we were thinking that later, like, we don't even know what we answered. Like, we don't even know what's in there. We didn't see it before. But the next morning that he came back, we write a little CV to him, like what we can do and what we've done so far and what we think we can do, where we can help. And in the morning, he came to us in the morning, 7:00 next day. He was like, okay, you guys, you go in now. There's some stage tanks. Each one you will get aluminium S80, 3 of them strapped around. Put it on your back and bring it as far as you can in the cave and set it up like a stage in the chambers. And then off we went. It was horrible at the beginning. We didn't know. There was no proper map of the cave. I mean, as a cave diver, you should know like, you plan your dives well. First of all, you need to know where you're going. You got this team routine that you stay together. You make sure your body is all right. You check the conditions that how is the vis, how is the depth, how is the time that you're going to be in there. Usually you have a set up nice line that you follow. We had nothing at the beginning. The first time was the hardest, because we first you go into the cave system and you have to walk and climb and slide and whatnot for about 800, 900 meters. And it's not straightforward walking. There's a couple of sumps that you need to dive, set up your gear and go under. Then you have to climb a bit, and there was huge gaps that you could, one slip and everything was wet, and you don't have a climbing shoes, you got your dry suit boots. And one slip and you can fall 10 meters into the rocks. And once you get to the chamber 1, 2, and 3, and in the third chamber, the actual diving starts. But before that, you already dove a couple of times, and you've been. My pulse. I got this watch that tells me and it was 168 or something when I reached chamber 8, and that's when you start diving.
Wow!
So, oh my god! And then you spend. I mean, yeah, it was about 10 hours every day in a cave diving, maybe 3-4 hours of that, but sump diving is such that you go chamber to chamber.
Yeah.
And we lost our group in the first 50, 100 meters. We were all lost, and we decided it's going to be solo for the next week. And it was just to get into the feeling of that cave was the hardest the first day. But then when you learn how it was, you know that, okay, you have to hike for 2 hours before you get to the dive, so you can save your energy a bit.
Yeah.
And you know that you're not going to see nothing for the next few hours underwater. And you know that it's not deep, and there's these chambers where you can stop and rest. Mm-hmm. It became easier, and the diving wasn't the hardest, but it was just the overall, the whole of it, the magnitude.
The magnitude of the whole thing,
of the whole operation. And then, of course, a little stress that the boys were in the end of the line.
Yeah.
They need to be taken out, so you were on your 110% all the time.
So the diving elements and the sumps that you're going through, were they, I mean, we saw video footage. I think by now the world was just captured and watching everything on the TV as much as possible, but it looked like you were diving in a cross between mud, pea soup and coffee.
Yeah.
What was it like when you were submerged? Because obviously the visibility is going to be quite low, but then you've got these, rock walls, ceilings, floors. Was there squeezes? Were there, hazards that you just have to try and avoid, but you didn't even know they were there?
It was. I mean, I couldn't see nothing. You should usually see your instruments, but with the rebreather, I couldn't read my partial pressure from my wrist computer, and so I was just listening how the solenoid goes on and off, and adding oxygen, because I knew that it's not deeper than 6, so I could add oxygen to my unit as much as I want. The restrictions where we went, you just follow the line. Thank God there was that line that the guys put in there, because you just went hand, pulling yourself, hand, another hand, and you did that for 2-3 hours to the end of it. Thank God we had helmets, because you couldn't see shit, and our neck was so sore after hitting our head into the stalagmites constantly. There was these restrictions that everybody was talking a lot, and they were tight. I mean, you could get through with your side mount set just barely.
Yeah.
But then you had to pull these 3 tanks after you, and that was pretty much the maximum size you could put through. Coming out with the kit through those was horrible.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah.
We knew that we can do that because we could pull in 3 tanks at the same time, so we could pull, and ourselves, so we could pull those kits out too. But they were tight, and the worst thing was that you couldn't see nothing.
Yeah.
So you couldn't you just went with fingers to feel where's the hole.
Really?
Try not to lose that line. But
was there any kind of contingency plans for if that line was lost, or it was just get the rescue done?
That was it. I mean, we were the rescue team, so there was no rescue for us except our training. And if you lost the line, it's normal protocol.
Yeah,
you look for the line until you die.
Yeah. Well, thankfully, you all came out.
There was quite a few lines lost on the way, but
yeah,
God, everybody was experienced enough to find their way out, except someone Kunan on the 5th day. But yeah.
So with the dives, I'm just trying to paint a picture of how it was all put together. So we've got the kids down one end. We've got Dr. Harris, who was sedating them to bring them through, and was the kids being passed through individual sumps. So the team of divers take the kid, bring it through to you, and then you guys take the kid through to the next stage. Or was it all done by one diver bringing through, several chambers?
Yep. There was this the British Cave Diving Council guys, 4 of them, John Rick, Jason, and they were each bringing one kid out And then there was the assistant divers, which were us, and we were waiting set to each chamber, one or two or three of us. And our job was, we were in the chamber, the kids were in the chamber 9 with Harris and 4 Navy SEALs, Thai Navy SEAls, getting sedated. And then one by one, each diver started to bring the kid out. They met us on the first, the next chamber on the way out. And I was there with Craig Challen and Klaus Rasmussen. And thank God these guys were, because Rasmussen used to work for Red Cross and Craig Challen is a doctor. So they knew how to administer all these sedatives, and then I was in good hands. And our job was just when they entered to the chamber 8 to take off the equipment from the kid and help equipment off from the diver too, and the diver could run or walk to the next chamber from 8 to 7. It was quite rough territory. It was a few hundred meters, and there was some swimming and some climbing on the sandy banks, and we just put the kid on. We check his vitals and stuff that he's all right, and then undress the equipment and put him in the stretcher, and maneuver him to the next chamber where we check him again, and then put the gear on again, the full face mask and a little BC with a handle that we could carry him, and once again check that the full face mask is not leaking, and everything is good. And then as fast as we could, the diver could take the kid again and go to the next chamber, and that's how we went on forward till the chamber number 3, where you could, the chamber number 3 you could reach without diving at this point, because they lower the water level with pumps and diverting the water somewhere else. So over there was lots of help for the divers then, and that was the end of our diving mission from 9 to chamber number 3, and from there onward we handed the kid to the authorities outside.
Yeah. And we've got to point out, it's pretty common knowledge, but the amount of people that were involved in this rescue is just astronomical, isn't it? I was looking at the stats earlier today, and with the local Thais and the rice fields that were getting flooded because of the diversions of the waters to prevent more water going in, and the effort from everybody involved was just immense.
Some say 10,000, or calculated more, and that's a huge number. We, as divers, we didn't see none of them because we were 13 inside the cave, and that was what we saw during the day. But when we came out, it was dark the whole week, because we went in when it was dark and came out pretty much when it was dark. But when we came out every day, you could see every day we just got dense, more and more people, and the village outside the cave system was growing and growing, and the amount of media that was packed outside was also there was, hundreds and hundreds of journalists outside, and it just grew and grew. But it was helping that we didn't have to see that while we were working. Yeah. Because that would put you off quite easy. Yeah. I think like million people are watching. Don't tell you what you're doing, but
not putting any added pressure on you at all.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a few.
It was.
Go on. Sorry.
No, just about the pressure thing. That's amazing how everybody handled that, because first of all, you're dealing with kids, and you're dealing in an environment which is very hostile, and you pretty much don't know what to do. You need to improvise a lot, because you have nobody was telling you what to do. It was just go out and do your best and bring them out, and then the rest is up to you. And then add on the last days when they went viral, the whole cave rescue, and then if you gave it a second to think about, oh my God, there's millions of people watching and waiting for the answer, and don't fuck up now.
Yeah,
do your best. But, everybody took it quite well.
It seemed to go. I say I was watching from a distance like the rest of the world, but it just seemed to go absolutely mental. And having lived for a number of years in Thailand myself, I can just imagine how the Thai locals would have reacted. And I'm just looking at some of the questions that people have fired through to me for you. And one woman was asking about actually stating a comment saying that it was admirable of the families not to be casting any kind of negativity at the adult that was in the cave with them, and that's just indicative of the Thai lifestyle, as far as I'm concerned.
I think that was well done from the parents, because you could easily tip it over to the other side, and but they probably knew about the coach and how well he was with the kids before the ordeal and after. What I understood, he was like a mentor to them, and he was more than a coach. He was, in their everyday life, he took care of them, the kids, like much more than just every week, football rehearsal. But he really took care of them, and why he took them in the cave, I understand it fully myself. Exploration for kids is vital.
Yeah.
And these guys up there in the far up north, they don't have shopping malls where to hang around. They have the Tham Luang cave.
Yeah.
And that's only natural for them to go and seek and put their names a little bit deeper. So I don't blame them at all over there. And I hope it was good to see that the parents also understood it that way. I don't know. You could have tipped over the other way too, especially in Western countries.
Yeah. Well, as I mentioned, I've got a few questions for you from some divers, and what I did was yesterday after we'd spoke, I just jumped online quickly and I hit up the Sydney Dive Network and Sydney or Viz, which is a Sydney-based reporting forum, and also Texas Scuba Divers. There's quite a few of them over there.
Hey.
So I've got a few questions for you. If you can have a go at them. You ready? We have one from Dougal Wilson. If you had to do it again, what would you do different?
Oh, good one. I definitely demand everybody in the operation would have a GoPro or some kind of a recording device. This time we were told not to take any pictures, any film during it, but that would have made everything planning and showing the rest of the team and the people outside and the commanding and the higher levels how it looks and what we are fighting against, and even within the team we would know much better how many tanks in each chamber and how does chamber number 6 look from chamber number 5, because they all look the same. And we didn't and also for liability and learning from these ordeals, if you could have a camera on your set to film, you could easily show that, okay, I did that mistake, or I didn't do that, or here we could. It would just make sense to have those recording devices in every rescue, actually.
Yeah.
That was just something that I was thinking, because I had a camera against all the rules, but and it became handy at some point. But that's just something that comes up the first thing.
There must have been a lot of learning, a lot of things learned from this incident.
As I said, it was a lot of improvising, at least for my part, because there was no clear rules what to do.
Yeah.
In the army operations, usually you got very strict rules what to do and what not to do. Just do that and only that and nothing less than that. Yeah. But we didn't have that. But given the operation, the style, there was no way to give us any guidelines to follow, except come back safely and try to bring those kids back too. But what was the other thing that I would add here, if we got time? Is the media, because that clearly played a big role in this whole operation, and how social media got everybody together, and through this, it's a lot of positive that came through social media. But then for the rescuers itself, it was weird to have 200 different medias on your face all the time, and at the same time you can't tell nothing. Yeah. There was this US Special Forces, they had a media personnel with them that kind of helped them out and told them what to do, what to say and what not to say. But for the rest of us, we common divers, we had no experience of this, and we didn't know what to say and what not to say. And they are quite good in their job when they start to ask questions.
Yeah.
And that might, I mean, it was, yeah, some of us had to go because of saying something too much to the media. And that is something that next time, if you can see that something is building up so big, put a person in to help out with the press.
Yeah. Just refer everything to that person. Okay, so we have another question for you.
Something like this.
This one's a pretty good one. Adam Smith, he asks, did you always believe the kids could be brought to safety, or did you accept that the outcome could have had some deaths?
Another good one. Very good question. I mean, back in my mind, I think everybody was positive that we can do this. But before the extraction started, before the 3 days when the weather window was, we knew that, okay, now we got 2 days, and then the monsoon starts, and that means the cave system will most likely flood again immediately, and that is the end of the operation. Then we might have to wait 6 months. So on those last days when we had to move quite fast, I remember we sitting down the last evening when they still asked, because we're volunteer, so they asked like if you can still back off if you like, and we can pick them up 6 months later when it's dry. And there was a lot of serious faces on that table, because all the information that we had on hand and from around was pointing that we might not get all of them out, and we would be lucky if we get a few of them out. Yeah. We had no idea how they will react, how the sedation will last. I mean, there's 2.5 kilometers of diving with those kids in a zero vis, and it's very many things can go wrong. So yeah, you couldn't say that. I mean, we hope that we can get them all out, but to be honest, 50-50 would be quite close to what we were getting ready for.
Yeah,
and understanding that the most difficult part of the whole operation was to accept that risk that somebody might die in your hands, and what happens after that? How will the family react? Will you be blamed from it? Will you have to lose everything in Thailand, or will you get in the jail, or and then just living your life with the experience that did I do something wrong? Did I fuck it up because one of them died, or and that was the hardest part. But thank God that didn't happen to any one of us.
Well, I don't thank God. Thank you guys that did it. Plain and simple, mate.
The kids did it, God damn it.
Yeah.
They stayed alive. And
they did.
I mean, 18 days in that darkness and with no proper food and no hope. And I mean, whoa, that's a lot on a little brain.
Yeah.
I mean, on a young brain.
There's a couple of people actually asked, in fact, Kate, I might get your surname wrong, sorry, Kate Zarifa and Greta Flynn. They both ask if you're still in contact with the boys now.
Unfortunately, not now. I mean, I met them. I'm very happy to say that I met them a few times after the ordeal. I've been back in the cave a couple of times and met them in the various places, but not really contact. They are they became quite famous, and I'm happy to say that they are being kept. Like they've been protected also. Good. That they're not easy to. You just can't go to Chiang Rai and ding dong, hello, how are you?
Yeah.
And that's good that they're so. And then again, they are. I mean, yeah. My Thai is not that good that I could just call them over, or we come from different planets, anyways. But I'm just happy to know that they are getting fat and they are every year 1 year older and doing the kid thing.
Yeah Cool. So I think we've done the cave. Congratulations, man.
Yeah.
Again. Post cave, what's post cave life been like? Because I mean, you've done this courageous thing, and then all of a sudden you're being thrown in front of the Prime Minister of Thailand and being given these awards, and then the same in Finland, and it must have been pretty surreal.
It comes with first when I was done, I decided, I tried it. Okay, I'm not going to talk to anyone. And I tried 3 months of that, but you can't escape it. Eventually you have to come out, and it comes with being able to be involved with such a great outcome, such a unique, wonderful operation that turned out so great. It comes with a responsibility kind of it gave me a lot of, personally, and I'm sure for all of us, it gave a lot of respect in the field, and options, windows open for new adventures and new projects and stuff, but also people are looking. Your name came out now, and people will remember us and the other people involved. So it comes with a task kind of, and I'm very happy and proud to carry that, and I'm trying to behave up to that level or so, and it's mind blowing, and suddenly you are all over the place. I don't like the press, the media part of it at all, digging to your personal life and stuff. But there's much more good than bad from the publicity that came, and I've decided to try to turn it and be kind of a role model for what people want. Some people want me to show, because suddenly people are listening to you and all that. So I'm trying to live up to it too, and through my expeditions and photos and whatnot, and it's been an amazing ride. And but the thing is that it wasn't supposed to be like this. It just happened. We were trying to rescue some of them and just help as much as we can. So this outcome was just mind blowing, and still is. I'm still thinking of it sometimes, and I just can't figure out how nothing went wrong in the end.
I know, right?
Because there was so many ways. Yeah.
Hoping for 50% and you get 100%. It's brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you've got you did have some expeditions lined up, didn't you, until COVID kicked in? We were meant to be speaking. It was touch and go whether we were going to be talking, because of Indonesia, but good old Indonesia closed the borders again. Can you say much about that expedition? Or?
I always tend to be on the road and be on expeditions and try to find stuff and thing. But the COVID came and stopped. We had lots of projects coming up, and one of them was with surveying these U.S. submarines that were lost in World War II, and they're scattered. One is in Thailand, and 3 of them are in Philippines, and there hasn't been done proper survey of them with the current tools that we have, meaning 3D photogrammetry and some side scanning, and within we set up a team, Bottom Line Projects, a few years back, just to step out from what we used to do in Thailand. You know how it is when you go out with the fishing boat and search for something. It's super hard work. It's the best fun in the world. But then we've done that for a while. I was missing the fact that, or the part that we could actually do some scientific meaningful surveys on the way, and try to help the history books and stuff even more. So we wanted to approach with more scientific approach towards the wreck, and so we set up a team with marine archaeologists and maritime archaeologists and marine biologists to be able to conduct proper surveys and give something back to the public. And then the damn COVID came, and literally there was people flying into the country, and we're going to USS Lagarto this time. We were supposed to start those expeditions from the Lagarto wreck that is in Thailand and in 75 meters roughly, found by Jamie McLeod, Kotao boy with the Trident crew. And we had these people coming in, the boats are paid and gases are done and everything is packed in the cars, and some of us fly in, and some of us was driving from Bangkok already, like 500 kilometers in, and then we had to cancel the whole thing because of COVID. We were so close. We were like 12 hours to departure, and then I had to call the whole thing off. And ever since, it was a good call. We had to do that call, but it buggers because it's been a year now, and we haven't been out. Well, we've been out doing something different project, but that is still on the hold. It's going to be nice when we finally get to there and the Philippine Rex.
Yeah.
But I've been lucky. that there's been other projects during the COVID time even.
Well, yeah, you've been doing stuff, haven't you? Because I keep seeing all these sexy photos you throw up. It's very annoying. It's a little bit chilly diving here in Sydney, but the clarity that you got some of those photos is simply fantastic, dude. Yep,
I took on a couple of years ago the cold water diving again after years and years, and it's amazing how the visibility in the Baltic Sea and in the mines can be. Usually, when people are talking about Baltic Sea, they only go to 30 meters and the vis is crap most of the time there. But after 30, 40 meters, it opens up and it's black, very dark. But if you got powerful lights, the visibility can be up to 50 meters, and there's a whole new ball game down there in the bottom of the Baltic. So those photographs are from the bottom with heaps of lights with us.
Yeah, strategic position in a stroke.
One of them. We went to Estonia with subzone team. Immi Wallin was in charge, and we were using the research vessel Yoldia, and that was 2 weeks expedition in Saaremaa last July, I think. And just to give you an idea, like the conditions are where within 2 weeks we could only get out maybe 3 or 4 diving days. Wow. Because the conditions in the Baltic, the wind can be so hard most of the time that there's no business on the boat to those wrecks. But then during those few days, we actually managed to locate or find 3 new wrecks, and we got the coordinates from National Heritage Board of Estonia, so we were kind of cheating, but still we get to dive something new that never been dove. And oh my God, like our main target was the HMS Gentian, that was part of the Red Track operation during the World War II, and nobody has visited that wreck. There was just rough coordinates that there might be something down there, and nobody knows actually what. But to visit the Virgin wreck, it was 80 plus meter tall, and it had 60 meters perfect visibility, 40 meters, and all the bells and helms and compasses and everything intact. And we did a 3D model out of it in a couple of days, and that was one of my highlights of last year's expeditions. I never knew that it could be that beautiful in the Baltics. So and then the guys find another one the next day. I wasn't on the boat, but that was at 100 meters, and we find one on pretty much every dive we find one wreck, and thanks to Immi Wallin and her connections. But that was an amazing trip.
That sounds awesome. Well, I think we'll wrap it up there, mate, and you can go and oil your chainsaw ready for the ice diving. I'll just go and turn the air conditioning on. Before we go, for the listeners that are out there, do you want to just let them know how they can find you and where they can find you online, all that kind of thing, and keep up to date with what you're doing?
Okay, so my telephone number is... No, I think we're looking at something else. Would be, kotadivers.com. That's the company we've been running with the team for the last 20 years. So we do anything from beginner to a CCR Trimix instructor if you're interested, and lots of expeditions. From there you can find our Malta chapter 2. I even got my own website. Thank you for Krista. MikkoPaasi.com. That's a posh one if you want to go, but there's lots of links more
Krista made that
our
one.
Adventures.
Krista made that
yes.
one.
Yeah,
she can make my next website, mate. That's awesome.
Yeah, it looks like $1 million there. And follow up the Bottom Line projects. That's a non-governmental organization at the moment, and this through Bottom Line projects we will in the future conduct all kinds of expeditions and adventures and whatnot things. So that'll hopefully grow up to a very, very interesting group. But that's about it. Thank you, Matt, for your patience and everybody out there for listening.
And thank you for giving us your time, mate. I kind of didn't slip it into the show, but we will have to have a catch-up beer at some point. It's been far too long since I had a hangover with you.
Oh, yeah, that most definitely. And I do owe you the beer.
Yeah.
Or pronouncing that
yeah.
that night crossing at the beginning
Rod,
of the show.
we had a little challenge at the start that I couldn't pronounce the Thai award that he got, but I nailed it. So that's a beer owed to me. I'm not going to forget it until I see you next time.
All right, Matt. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mikko. Have a great time. Don't freeze your nuts off outside.
You too, don't get burned.
I won't.
I envy your tan.
Cheers, buddy.
All right, ciao.
This is Scuba Goat Under the Sea, the podcast for the inquisitive diver.